And I remember making the clear decision, God, this church thing isn't working for me. I don't like it. I don't like who I am. I don't like how they treat me. And so I'm going to make a new life for myself. And for the next 4 or 5 years, I did my best to carve my own path and make my own life. And to be honest, I made a mess of it, a big mess of it. And I was 19, I remember, I still had to go to church because I lived in my parents' house, so I'd show up on Sunday morning, and, in those charismatic kind of churches, the drums and guitars are really loud when you're hungover. But I was there, and I remember standing there and feeling like my life had gone so far off track. But I thought, I knew better before I started down this road, so I'm not sure God can forgive this. Because I knew better. And every choice and every step that I went farther and farther into that life, I knew better. So every week I'd come to church and I'd be like, God was so distant. And I was like, I know you're like the loving Father, I know you're there, but it was just so distant. And I remember I was standing in the worship service and a woman walked over to me and got up on the chair in front of me and grabbed my arms and went like right into my face. And she said, God told me to come here today and tell you that you are precious and you are valuable to Him. And she had no idea how those words would impact me, right? And I was like, okay. So I went to the altar after that service and I knelt down and I said, God, I have made a mess of my life. I've tried it my own way for far too long and I am in a mess. But if you can take this mess and you can do something with it, I'm giving it all back to you. And so that was like my moment. I was 19. So my path really changed. I ended up going to Bible school and, I thought, this is great. And in those days, I thought I needed to marry a pastor in order to do what I was feeling called to do by God. But I fell in love with a farmer. And, by the time I graduated Bible school, I was pregnant with our first of 4 kids. And I wrestled with it, but I made the choice to stay at home with my kids. And I was just like, okay, this is my life. I'll lead life groups. I'll do mom's time out. I'll do all these things. Wherever God puts people in front of me, I'll just keep ministering. But really my focus was to stay at home for 15 years and take care of my kids.
That's good.
Yeah. And then, so it was probably about 8 years or so ago that they were all in school. And I ended up in a ball on my basement floor because that was the life that I had made for myself and I didn't know anything else. And those times of transition are so key for us, right? To really okay, God, what do you have next for me? What is the new thing you want to do in my life? And He said, renew your pastoral license. And I was like, what? And then I started working in church administration and just kind of easing my way back in part-time, blah, blah, blah. 2 years later, I was offered a pastoral role. And I was like, I'll think about that. I'll get back to you. And I ended up taking it, but the whole time I was like digging my feet in, like, God, what are you doing? This isn't my plan. This isn't what I expected. I think the best, most practical thing I can say is just be real. We spend so much time in the church hiding, right? And nothing has changed. Adam and Eve hid in the garden, right? They hid like they could hide their sin from God, right? And we hide from everyone around us. We go into church with our smile on and we have our perfect Instagram and it's like, my life is great. But inside we know we're a mess, right? We're a wreck. And I've been sort of just challenged with this idea lately that God can't heal what I'm not willing to reveal to Him. And so as long as I'm trying to hide it, as long as I'm, pushing these things down and saying, no, I don't want to deal with that piece of my old life. I don't want to deal with that bad habit. I don't want to deal with that emotional outburst. I don't want to deal with that old stuff that keeps creeping in. I'm just going to pretend it's not there, right? We're not kidding anyone. Everyone else around us usually knows, and God knows. But He's just waiting for us to take that step and say, what, I'm willing for you to work on this. And it's really easy for us to give Him all the good stuff. We want to give Him our talents and our gifts, and it's like, here I am, God, use me. And we give Him all this good stuff. It's really hard to give Him the broken pieces of our heart and say, God, I trust you to do something with this. Right. Which is where God is constantly trying to show His love to us, right? From the beginning of time, He's been trying to reveal His love to us. I love you. I love you. You're my daughter. I have your best interests at heart. And I would never do anything, like I would never ask you to do anything you can't do. I would never ask you to do anything that's too hard. I'm on your side. I'm in your corner, right? And we need to come to a place where we really learn to trust God like that and believe God could redeem it.